What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and Marvel's Avengers continues to be a much maligned failure for Square Enix because the numbers just came out and we're seeing how much money this thing actually lost them, and it is kind of staggering when you take a look at it. And this game is nowhere close to making its money back, and I don't think it will be for quite some time. Look at the headline that we got today. Square Enix reports massive loss on heels of Marvel's Avengers launch. Make no mistake, this was one of the most anticipated games of the year. Not up there with Cyberpunk necessarily, or even Last of Us Part 2, but definitely a lot of people were looking forward to playing this game. Got a ton of attention for the beta, but it disappointed in every possible way. There are still people that enjoy it, but I think you have to look at this and say that this is a huge failure, and they released a broken game, and it may never make any money for them. Let's take a look at these specifics. Marvel's Avengers hasn't been the smoothest of starts, and while the team has been busy patching and getting things smoothed over, thousands and thousands of bugs, the issues did have an effect on the overall sales of the game, according to a new financial report from Square Enix, the parent company of Studio Crystal Dynamics. The news report reveals Square, and that is a spelling error, a big spelling error indeed. Square Enix had a loss of 6.5 billion yen in regards to its HD games portfolio, which says it was headed up by Marvel's Avengers. We can't confirm how many copies were sold, but they did reveal that it was about 60% of the planned sales totals. And look at that. You can do a conversion here from the numbers that they gave us. Square Enix reported the $6.5 billion yen. That implies the game cost over $100 million to make, but only sold around 3 million copies. And then the follow-up to that, after doing some more analysis, they say it looks like the total cost is closer to 170 to 190 million, given the only expenses 70% of cost in the quarter plus marketing. Why didn't someone say stop? Post the multiplayer beta will remain a mystery. Square are adamant they can make a recovery. You're looking at 3 million sold for this game. That does kind of match up with some of the numbers that we've seen. That is an embarrassment for a game that was so hyped up and was released on all platforms. But the scary part, the most scary part is, like we talked about, the fact that people have stopped playing completely. This is right now. This is actively on Steam, on PC. 768 players are playing this game. We heard the stories about matchmaking on PC being an issue. There's no one playing this game. Not even 1,000. The past 24 hours, it couldn't even crack 1,000 active players. This is so low. This is being beaten by games that were released almost a decade ago. That is embarrassing for Square Enix and Marvel's Avengers. But the all-time peak of almost 30,000 people. You have lost nearly 1/30th. You were down to 1/30th the audience that you had. What the fuck, Square Enix? You have to be scared to death that this game will never make it back. And you look at the reviews. I mean, look at on PC, a 3.2 user score. 68 Metacritic score might as well be a 3.2 because we all know what the critic scores are. They're always in the 70s or 60s, even if it's a bad game. Let's take a look at PS4. 5.1. I think that's probably going to be the most gracious. Xbox One, 3.8. And let's see if anyone even played it on Stadia. Only one person reviewed it. 2.1 on Google Stadia. I can't believe there's 50 people playing it. This has to be fake. I don't believe that news. But we saw this coming. We've seen all the cracks and all the bugs, all the glitches all along the way. In addition, we saw them slash a bunch of their prices. Look at this. Marvel's Avengers Cosmetic received price cut because they did a sale and decided that no one's going to buy it at what we have, so they left it at the sale price after feedback from their community because they know they need money. They need all the money they can get at this point from these microtransactions from their current player base. So they had to slash the prices to try to get some movement. And we all talked about it when this happened. Marvel's Avengers DLC and next-gen versions were delayed. They're not even releasing the next-gen games. If they thought maybe people were waiting to get it on PS5 or Xbox Series X or S, no. That's not the case because they're now going to delay this into at least 2021. Now, I think that's a good decision because obviously they have a game that they need to fix, a game that is almost not playable for so many people. So it's a good thing to delay those things and get it ready. They delayed the DLC too. So even if you're a current player, you don't have anything to look forward to. They didn't even announce a new date for this DLC to come out. They are in a bad spot with Marvel's Avengers, and we talked about it all the way up to the release, all the bugs, the problems that people had with the story, the problems that people had all along the way with this game, and those worries continually got ignored. They continue to push forward. They did delay it slightly, but after that beta, there was no doubt that this game was not ready. They should have delayed it. We've talked about with Cyberpunk with the delay that as hard as it is, they should have just delayed it even more than they did. Because you can't have a game that comes out like this, that you have a massive loss on. Let's go take a look here. The beta was a huge hit, drawing in millions of players. It was a hit because people were interested to see if it was a shit show. A lot of people played it and didn't even buy the game because of the beta. But with little time between the beta ending and the launch, there wasn't much time to actually fix or change much of the game's flaws, and that led to some backlash. Since then, the team has been working overtime to patch things and have done a remarkable job, but the issues and negative word of mouth have clearly affected sales and the cosmetic sales that are supposed to keep the money flowing until more content hit. And that's the thing, when your players leave, when you lose almost all of your player base, when you have this kind of a drop-off, microtransactions can't sustain you. You're not making money off this live service game like you thought you would. You didn't have sales like you thought you would. And now you are severely, severely in the hole. And I'm not sure what they're going to do. Will this game ever become profitable? They said they think it will. I don't know, and I do think this is a lesson that everyone needs to learn, and that as hard as it is for Cyberpunk to be delayed, they should have announced it way before that it was not going to come out until later. No one will ever forget if you release a game broken, but if you release it good, it might be delayed, people might be upset, but if you release it and it works, and it has all the features that you want and you envisioned for it, then people will be more receptive to it. There will be a better chance that they stick around and play that game, unlike this one. This is another Anthem scenario. I don't know if it's quite as bad as Anthem, but we're looking at something that's going to take a huge loss and is not currently really playable for a lot of people. A lot of people still have really big problems with it, and I don't know if they can get it to the point to get these people to come back and play. They have a long road ahead for Marvel's Avengers, and it's sad because I think this game could have been spectacular, but unfortunately, it looks like it's fallen short in a lot of ways. I'm interested to hear your thoughts about it. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.